Okay, everybody, I'm about 3 minutes early. I'm Dawn Duval, and it is April 19th of 2025, and I'm dark. So give me a minute. I'm a few minutes early. I'm trying to get some more light in here so I don't look like, there we go, sitting in the dark. I'm going to turn the camera down as soon as we everybody gets on and we get ready to get started. We'll see how that goes. Let me open up the chat box. So if you all would like to chat with me, that will be open, and that is available for YouTube and Facebook. So put in your comments if you'd like. I would greatly appreciate that. And we'll start here shortly. This is only probably going to run maybe 30 minutes. We're doing an easy sketch. These are designed for beginners, paper crafters that need a place to start, or for those of us that sometimes just need a little starting point to jump off and go from there. So these are going to be very simple, but you can take them to the next level if you choose to do so. So I'm going to show you one sketch, but two different views of that particular card. So we're going to make two cards again, so it probably won't take more than 30 minutes, if that. All right, so let's see. We've got the chat box on, and we are live in person. And I think I'll just wait until everybody pops on. It's 11:28, so we'll give it just a few more minutes. Today is, well, I'll just talk to you while everybody pops in. As most of you all know, because I've been talking about it for a couple of weeks, that we are heading out to west to go to some of the national parks. So we're leaving on Tuesday early morning and flying into St. George, and then we fly in I think we stay the night in St. George, and then the next morning we take an hour, like a little hop plane, to the first park that we're going to, and I don't remember what it is. My husband does all the planning. It takes him about a year to do this. Some of the parks you have to be ready and to when they open up, because some of them do sell out. And if you want to stay on some of the sites, you've got to get that done at least a year to a year and a half in advance. We initially did this back before COVID hit. We were going to take our motor coach out there, and that COVID came in, so that poo-pooed that idea, and he had to go back. We had to cancel everything. So now we're going to go out and visit. I think we're doing 5 parks. So we're going to be out leaving on the 22nd, and then we'll return on the 19th. So we're in packing mode, trying to get the house cleaned up, all that stuff, that you normally do. So I've had the clothes packed because he told me it was going to be really cold weather about maybe 4 days ago. And then now the temperatures have warmed up in some of those areas. So I took everything out, took out a lot of sweaters and some longer pants. So now I've kind of, not that it's going to be cold, but I figure I'm just going to wear clothes. If I have to wear them several times, it's okay. So I packed a couple of sweaters, 4 pairs of pants, and some capris and short sleeve tops and puffy coat and all that fun stuff. So I think I have it. And if not, I'll just buy something while we're out there. Why not? Right? So that's what we're doing. So, hey, Karen. You didn't picture me. I'm not really a hiker, but I'll do it. It's, we bought walking poles, and we went through a class here at Shell Point and it really wasn't much. She was just putting them together, showing you how to use them and all that stuff. So we'll see how it goes. But, I'm not going to hike up big mountains, I can tell you that, but I will hike. I will do a lot of walking. So, but the poles are good for keeping your balance too. But anyways, so I had to get my nails done. So I called today because a couple days ago, to see if I could go after 1 o'clock, thinking just to be on the safe side, I'll have it. Well, they couldn't get me in. So he said, well, I can do 9 o'clock this morning. I said, that might be pushing. He goes, okay, you come 8:30. I said, okay. I know now why I never get my nails done in the morning, because I like to sit in the massage. I got my nails and then a pedicure, and I love the massaging chairs. I told him I just paid my money to sit in the chair and be massaged for 30 minutes. So I said, I'm going to be lazy. I'm not going to want to do anything when I get home. And of course I come back, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got so much to do. The main thing I've got to do is clean up my stamp area, because you see it as you walk in the front door, and I've got cards all over everywhere. And I started I used to sell my cards through an Etsy. So I closed that shop years ago, and I have a separate shop for all my retired products. But now I reopened the card shop. So now I have all these cards. And I think that's why I stopped doing it, because you got to keep them until somebody buys them, right? So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to run a few ads on that and see what happens. And if I don't get any, I'm going to give it 6 months. And if I don't sell much on there, then I'll just turn around and send them to the Cards for Soldiers like I normally do. I send all my stuff anyway. So there we go. But anyways, all right. So we are live on here, and let's see. It is, holy moly, it took me an hour to get my daughter's house. Oh my gosh, are you kidding? Why was the traffic? 30 I know 30 days without crafting is going to drive me crazy. But I'm trying, and that's the other thing. I've got one video scheduled for Tuesday night. So I'm going back through my archives. I'm going back years, stuff that you may not have seen. So I'm trying to find some unique things that I've done in the past to give you all something. I'm not going to do the sketches or the Friday class, the technique thing. I'm just going to try to put out some YouTube videos, and I'll have it on Facebook as well. But the other thing is, I figure while I'm out there, I might as well start posting pictures of whatever we're doing that particular day. I'll start posting pictures and stuff. So that'll be fun. All right. Oh, Patty Gardner's watching. I see her. She must be, where is she? Hi, Patty. Let me get back to my, here we go. All right. So what time is it? It is 11:34. We're going to give it another minute and then we'll get started. So the chat is opened. Come on in and say hi. And what was with the traffic, Karen? Oh my gosh. I guess people, who knows? Oh, they had a bad accident somewhere. I don't remember where it was. But anyways, Patty, you're on. Are you on Facebook or YouTube? I see you watching. So, all right. Well, we're gonna we'll get started here. We'll go ahead and get started now because y'all are here. All right. I am Dawn Duvall. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and I have been doing this craziness for about 14 years. I live in Fort Myers, Florida. And today we are going to work with a sketch. This is a monthly thing. It's called Creation Anticipation, because you don't know what we're going to do. So I'm doing a sketch, and sketches are good for two things. One, if you're a beginner or in the early stages of learning, sometimes you don't know where to start or what to do. So a sketch is a great place as a starting point. And then those of us that are seasoned or in that process, sometimes we just need to go back to the basics. And sometimes we might need that little bit of help to look at a sketch and go, just to give you a bouncing point. And then you go, oh, okay, I can do that now. And so that's what the concept, in my opinion, is what I'm using it for. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera down. Give me a minute, because I got to do all this flipping with the actual camera instead of hitting a button. So I apologize for that. So let me get the camera moved. Hang on. I'm going to flip it. Everything's going to be backwards for a minute. Let me flip it around. I do know how to do that part, but I do want to get it so I can get it out where y'all get to see everything. This is the part that I don't like, because it takes a little bit of time to adjust it. And I know that y'all don't need to see all that mess, but I want to get it to where it's not, where you guys are not so close to the table. That's the thing that I'm trying to do. So it's a little thing. And this camera that I bought, it's called an N-Swan. It's it's really a document reader. It's what teachers use. But it's perfect for this, right? It's perfect. So you have an extra camera. And since my other software wasn't cooperating, this was the perfect thing. And it's less than $100. So it works out pretty well. So hopefully that works for you guys, the view. Now, if you see shadows, let me know. I can shut some of these blinds back here. Let me do that a little bit, because that might help. Okay. So here's the sketch we're going to work with. And I'm getting better at drawing these things. I'm using Canva, just to let y'all know. So I'm now learning how to use squares and all the elements and stuff. So I'm not a graphic artist by any means, but I'm doing the best I can. And I thought I did pretty good on this one. Okay, so we're going to start with a regular card base. It's going to be 8.5, and I didn't put that on there. 8.5 by 5.5. And then your first layer is going to be the 4 and by 5 1/4, which will be your designer paper or whatever you want it to be. And then these two pieces can be two different papers, cardstock colors, or whatever. One will be 2 by 3 1/4, and the other one is 1 1/2 by 3. And then we're going to use a 1 1/2 inch circle. And then if you want a banner for your sentiment, this, again, depending on what your sentiment and how long it is, I've got this at a 1/2 inch by 3 3/4. So I'm going to do, I'm going to show you the card that I made the other day, and then I'm going to do 2 cards, and one's going to be a little different, and then one will be exactly like this. So, all right, so that's what we're going to do. And I don't think it's going to take more than 30 minutes, you guys, but I do appreciate you all taking time out of your Saturday to spend 30 minutes with me. I really do appreciate it. So thank you so much. I appreciate. If you're watching on Facebook, if you like what you see, if you don't mind sharing with your friends, I'd greatly appreciate that. And if you're on YouTube, which I forgot to mention, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. Make sure that you subscribe, hit that button to subscribe, and then the bell. That way you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. All right, now Patty's on. Woohoo! All right, so thanks, Karen. I'm getting better every day. It's only taken 14 years, right? Okay, so here's the card. Now, I showed you that paper yesterday, if you watched. This beautiful Gallery Blooms paper. It's the 6 by 6 paper that's going to come out in the new catalog. And I thumbed through it yesterday just to show you all these different beautiful scenes and the backdrops and all that stuff. There's boats and snow scenes and all sorts of, meadows and all that. So this is one of the pieces that I used from that set, and I cut it down. It's actually, let me see if I can find it real quick. I don't want to hold y'all up. Here it is. This one, the sad part, and I shouldn't say sad, but you got to cut off part of these flowers. So you want to make sure if you're using something like that that has a big pattern, sometimes you might need to cut it at a different angle to get more of the flowers or whatever you want. So when I cut it, as you can see, it cut off part of the border, if you will. Okay. So, but that's okay. All right. So this is the card that I did based on that design. So I think I did pretty good, actually. I just flipped it over. And instead of doing my sentiment, I used the 1 1/2 inch circle and I stamped my design there. And then I just put a ribbon down here. So you can see how you can change things up how you prefer. Now, the other thing I did was I embossed a piece of basic beige. And then this is the flip side of that paper. So I just flipped it over and placed it down there. So that kind of pulled some of the greens in. And then this is on a piece of Mossy Meadow. And then I had an extra little strip that I put on the inside to decorate the inside of the card. So I think that turned out pretty good. All right, so that's what we're going to do. So let's get started. I'm going to bring in the paper cutter because we need to trim our paper. We're going to start with this. This is going to be a pecan pie. Now, this is another piece in that paper set. And again, I think, and I'm not sure how it goes, but I'm looking at it this way, that these might be some kind of vines or trees. I don't know. And then you see all this stuff right here. Now, the colors, this is pecan pie. And this, to me, this is the new clove. What's the clover called? It is Cover Me Clover, I think it is. I don't have that. Oh, we don't have the ink because the ink is in process of being corrected because it didn't meet Stampin' Up's. Hey, Phyllis, it didn't meet their Stampin' Up quality assurance stuff. So anyways, all right. So we have a 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. I'm going to put this in the trimmer and we're going to score this at 4 1/4, right? So let's give it a score. I'm going to do it the right way instead of folding it. And then we'll just fold it over and we'll give it a burnish when I get done. Now, this is going to be my piece that I want for the front. So I have to decide how I want to do this. Now, I do like this piece going up here. So I'm thinking, because this is going to be cut down to 4 by 5 1/4, right? So 4 inches is going to be this way, right? So I could do, if I want my 4 inches, I could cut this piece off, but have this piece coming over, which I kind of like that coming over. And this would be the top of my card. So I think that's what I'm going to do. But again, see how you can flip your papers around and try to determine how you want to cut it. I mean, you might not like that and you could just cut it off. If I did it this way, that's my 4 inches. So it's going to cut this and I'd have that little piece sticking out. But I think I'd rather do it this way. So I'm going to line it up at 4 inches and we're going to trim that there. Okay, now I've got to cut it down to 5.5, right? So I got to take 3/4 off. So if I do it here, it's going to cut off a little bit at the bottom, which might be okay. Now, if I do this way, I'm going to cut some of that off. So I think I'd rather have more of the top on there and just cut off part of the bottom. And then I'll use that for the inside of my card. So we're going to cut, I'm going to cut it down here. All right. Now this piece is a nice size piece and that's the back side. So that to me looks like it could be some stormy water or something. I don't know. So we're going to save that because I can use that for later. All right. So that's that's going to be the front of my card. So that's what I'm going to do. All right. So we're going to bring that in. And again, I'm telling you, this is very simple. All right. So we're going to have that. Now, in this case, I'm going to do the same thing. So before I glue this down, let me use my bone folder and get this folded. I am going to, before we glue that down, I'm going to go ahead and put my pieces on here because I'm going to add a piece of ribbon like I did on the other one. Now, this is a piece of the basic beige, and this is the, let me pull this in here. Hang on a second. Let me get my stuff organized. Let me pull a sketch in so y'all can sort of see it. All right, so this piece here, the beige, is going to be the 1.5 by 3. And then this one is the 2 by 3 1/4. And I embossed this, and this is one of our slim, and I think this might be retired, this embossing folder, but I wanted to give it a little bit of texture. So I'm going to add those on here. Now, I think the last time I did it, I'm going to flip it around. So I didn't use any of the cards, the designer paper. I'm just using 2 pieces of cardstock. So I think now, again, that's going to, I'm going to bring this down a little bit lower because I kind of like that thing right there. And then I'm just going to add this piece right here. And I'm going to move it up just a tad, maybe over a little bit. And you don't have to. You can cut this down. You can make these sizes smaller if you choose to. I'm going to bring, I think I'm going to pull this one up like that and leave it at an angle. And this is the part that is a little time consuming because you got to figure out, well, how do you want this, right? And then I need to do a circle. And I'm going to punch a circle out. What am I doing with my circle? Am I doing a circle? Oh, yeah, I am. We're going to stamp on that. So we'll do that in just a minute. So I think I'm going to leave mine like this. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. You can pop this up on dimensionals if you want, but I'm going to leave it flat. So we're just going to add our adhesive. And again, this is that, oh gosh, Cloud Cover, I think is the name of this new piece of cardstock that will be out on May 6th. Karen, have you gotten your I mailed your catalog I don't know, you should get it maybe today. So good morning. Welcome, Jane from Wisconsin. Thank you for joining us. All right, so let me put a little bit of glue on this one. All right, so I'm just going to attach this one over here a little bit. Just put it at an angle. And again, this is just a starting point. However you want to start off with your card base, just to give you an idea of what to do, okay? All right. This is I keep forgetting why I did that. That's my circle. All right, we are going to, I'm going to go ahead and stamp before I glue this down because I'm going to add some ribbon to this. I'm going to stamp using the pecan pie, and I'm finding this to be one of my favorite stamp sets. The Simply Said, it's a really versatile, it's simple, basic sayings here. You know, birthday, these are kind of like in a cursive font. These are more straightforward, but I'm finding when you want something quick and simple, these are easy to use. So and I think it's $20, maybe something like that. All right, so I'm going to use thanks, and I know that's going to fit in my circle. So I'm just going to stamp it right on a piece of basic beige, and that's going to help make it stand out. And I'll probably add some embellishments to this when we get ready. And I'm going to bring in my 1.5 inch circle punch. I think it should fit. Yep, look at that. Okay, so we're going to punch that out. Whoopsie. That's what happens. All right, we're going to punch that out, and I'm going to set that off to the side. We're going to put this off to the side for just a minute. All right, so since I did my sentiment as the circle, okay, I'm not going to have a sentiment here, so I'm going to put the ribbon. So I'm going to put this beige ribbon. This is also new. That will be out in the catalog as well. I think this was one of the pre-orders. As a demonstrator, we get to pre-order several of the items. All right, so what I'm going to do, rather than waste, and I hate to say waste, but you know when you wrap a card, if you're going to wrap around the card, you usually wrap all the way around, right? And then you've got all this on the back that you don't get to see. So there's two things you can do. One, I have a bow maker, which I'll bring that out the next time and show you. I've got to get some more made because I sold them out on my Etsy store. So the easiest way is just to lay it down on your card base and leave a little bit, you know, maybe a half an inch or whatever on each side. So you're not going to, I don't want to say waste, but you don't want to waste your ribbon. You want to be able to use it where people can see it and enjoy it, right? So this is the back side. Now, to me, that looks awful dark and dreary, doesn't it? So I'm thinking a boat scene or an ocean scene or something like that. So I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive right here on the edges because that's all I need. And that's going to hold my ribbon in place. So now I'm just going to take this and I'm going to lay right here a little on the edge. And then I'm going to bring it over. And then this is how you can either leave it like this, but we're going to tie a bow. And you're like, well, Dawn, how are you going to do that? Well, let me show you. I'm going to just trim that little extra piece off because we don't need that in there. All right, now we're going to make a little faux, it's a bow, it's a knot, whatever you want to do it. Okay, so we're going to cut a piece, probably about like that. We might trim it down. And then all you're going to do is take this, slide it in, and then you can tie a knot, or if you want to tie a bow, tie a bow. And you know what I found? I got to turn this upside down. I find when I tie, my tails go up instead of down, and I'm not sure why I do that. I think it's the way I'm wrapping this. I'm going to turn it this way and see if this makes a difference. We'll see. So all you're going to do is just pull it through. Pull your ribbon in, get it to where it's straight, and then just hold one end and then pull till it gets taut. There we go. And then I'm going to flip that back around, and then I can adjust it. So now I've got kind of a bow on here, right? And we're just going to make it look pretty. And that's a little bit long, so I'm going to trim this up just a little bit, and we'll trim this side up too. All right, so that's a little bit too long now, isn't it? I keep cutting it down. I won't have any bow left. All right, there we go. All right, so that's an easy way that you can save your ribbon so that you can use it where people can see it. All right, now we're ready. We're going to add this to the front of our card. So I'll go ahead and bring in my liquid glue. Oh, you haven't gotten it. Okay, you may get it today. I can't remember when I sent it out. I want to say, what is today, Saturday? Maybe Thursday. I can't remember. I think it might have been Wednesday or Thursday. If not today, it'll probably be Monday. All right, so we're going to glue this one down. And that's going to go on our base. We're going to put that right there. All right, so there we go. We've got that. And see, it's nice and not bulky in the back because we don't have as much ribbon back there. And then we're going to pull in, hang on, I'm getting a piece of inside cardstock. Then we're going to do our thanks sentiment. We're going to pop that up on dimensionals. So let me pull those out here. And you've heard me say this before. Do not throw away the edges of these dimensionals because you can cut these and still use them. So we're going to do that. We're going to place 2 of these on here. I got one right there I can use. And we'll just pop that right on here and take these off. Now I don't have any fingernails. I told the lady, I said, cut them short. And they always think I'm crazy because I always tell them I want my nails short. But I said, cut them shorter because I'm going to be gone for almost a month. So, all right, now I have my thanks. So I can put this wherever on here that I want. You can see this one's here. Now they did make this a little bit more open at the top. I kept mine down because I wanted to do that. I think I'm going to hide. I don't like this look right here of these 2 pieces where they're not covering each other. So I'm going to lay it right about there in the center. And that's going to be my sentiment right there. And then I'm going to come in Now we cut this piece off, right? So we're not going to throw that away. We're going to take this. Now I don't want this side because that's too dark and dreary. So we're going to put some adhesive on this since we've cut it. And we're going to add it to the inside of our card. And let's make sure we got, I don't know if it makes a difference or not. I think I'm going to turn it this way. To me, it makes it look like it's going the right side up. All right, so we're going to put that on here, and it's a perfect fit. Look at that. It's 4 inches wide. So there you go. And now you're ready to send your message. The other thing you can do with this paper, when you have these paper packs, don't forget you need to make sure you decorate the back side of your envelopes with your paper, and that way you're not going to have paper left over and be a paper hoarder. Okay. All right. So then this we're going to add to the inside of the card. And as you all know, I don't put anything on the inside until I'm ready to send it. And I typically just write something. I send a lot of birthday cards out to neighbors and friends and all that stuff. So, all right. And if you want to get a birthday card from me, just leave me a comment birthday and I'll send you, I'll tell you what I need from you, and you can either message me or text it to me. So there is the card. Hang on, I'm sorry. Somebody was calling through on my phone. I'm trying to cut that off. Hang on a second. Hold on, sorry. Okay. All right, so there's the card. Pretty good considering next to the sketch, right? And then we open it up, and then we've got a nice piece that's decorated on the inside. All right, so that's the first card that we've created using this sketch. All right, now we're going to come in, and we're going to create another card, and we're going to use Gorgeous Grape, and we're going to also use this perennial perennial lavender. This paper has carried over. If you all haven't received a catalog and you're not working with a demonstrator, let me know and I'll send you one. Just put out catalog and I'll send you a link where you can fill out your name and address, and then I'll mail it to you. I just lost my train of thought. I was talking about the catalog. In the catalog, we have got we have probably about 6 or 7 papers that carried over. So that's a nice thing that we have. So that way we're not going to have all that paper sitting around. Oh, you know what? I forgot to put my decorations on here. So I'm going to pull this one back in. I'm going to put a couple of these guys. I used them yesterday. They're the naturals sequins. So I'm just going to put a couple of these on here because that looks kind of naked. So let me do that real quick. And I'm just going to put 2. No, we have to do odd. So we're going to do 3. Let's put 1 here. And then let's put 1. I forgot to do that. Let's just put 1 up in that corner. How's that? All right. So now this guy looks a lot better, doesn't he? Okay. So he's done. Okay. Now we're getting into the new card. All right. So we're doing the same thing. 8.5 by 5.5. Score it at 4. I'm going to fold it because I did not score it. Now this one, instead of doing it in the portrait mode like this, we're going to do it in the landscape. So let me get this folded and burnish it. So we're going to just do it a different direction to show the difference of what it will look like. All right, this is Gorgeous Grape. Now this is our perennial lavender paper that's carried over. I need to pull in my paper trimmer because this is already cut at 4 inches. So I need to cut this at 5 1/4, or we could do 5 3/8 if we don't want as much of the card base to show. I'm going to cut it at 5 1/4. So we're going to pull that down and cut right there. And then this should be at 4 inches, which it is. And then we're going to use this on the inside of the card as well. All right. Okay. This is the back side of the paper. This is pretty. I just thought that might be a little busy. So we could do that. But I think I'm going to do this one. I like this because it's just more simplistic. All right. So we're going to go in the landscape mode. So let's go ahead and glue this down. Now this, we're not going to put any ribbon. So I am going to do a sentiment, and we'll have to cut that. So we're going to lay this down. And again, this is 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to get that on here. And the liquid glue is good because it lets you move the paper to get it in position where you need it. All right, so there's that. Now I'm using, all right, so there are design again. I'm using a piece of our Gorgeous Grape base, and that's the larger piece here. looks bigger than 2 inches, doesn't it? And then this one, I'm using Highland Heather. And I ran this through another embossing folder. And this one, I don't know if you can see it, it's got some flowers that I embossed on it. So I'm going to put that on here. I thought that looked kind of cute. So now this one, I am going to spread it out a little bit more because we've got more room this way. So I'm going to probably put it like this. And then I punched a circle out of that paper, but I'm going to use this part right here to add some color to this. Okay. And then we're going to stamp our sentiment. Once I find what, oh, here it is over here. I had to find it. So we're going to go ahead and do our sentiment. And it's going to be, I think I'll probably do it like this. I think I'll lay this on the left-hand side and angle it a little bit to give it a little bit more. I think I'll do it like that, kind of open it up some more. But you don't have to angle it, but I think I like that. We'll do it like that. And then we'll put our circle. I think I'll pop that one up and put it like right over there. What do y'all think about that? I think that looks pretty. All right, so let's do that. That pulls in that gorgeous grape. All right, so let's add our, now we could pop these up, but again, I'm going to try to keep this stuff flat. So let's add that. We're going to do it to the left side, and we'll just put it up a little bit higher than I've done with the other ones. And then this one is the 1.5 by 3 inches. And this is the one I embossed. Just again, it gives it some texture. We're going to add that one right. Well, we'll just kind of move him over a little bit. It's probably where I'm going to put the circle. We'll move him a little bit like that. All right. And then this guy, we're going to pop up on dimensionals. Let me find him. Hang on a second. Good. All right. So let's chop a couple of these guys off. I have to remember where I placed my scissors. All right. So let's put, probably only need one on here. Nah, let's do 2. Let's do 2. Never have enough. All right. So we're going to put this one on here. And pop that one down. See how easy this is when you use a sketch? It just gives you a really great starting point, especially if you don't feel like you're creative enough and you need some help. Now, I've got a little bit of glue there. I'm trying to decide if I want that there or if I want it down a little bit low. I think I'm going to put it up here and I'll just clean that off. I've got an eraser that will take off the glue. And we used to sell these, but we don't any longer. But if you're interested in one, I do have, I'm an affiliate with Amazon, and I have these listed in my store that you can go to. And if you're interested, let me know, and I'll send you the link for that. Okay, so there's that. And then the next thing we need to do is our sentiment. So I'm going to go ahead and pull in. I was going to do the Gorgeous Grape, but I thought that might be a little dark. So I'm going to use the Highland Heather, which is this color here, the lighter, like a lavender color. And I'm making this happy birthday because I just checked the our complex here. They post everybody's birthdays and anniversaries. So I go through and pick out the neighbors' birthdays, and then I post and send them birthday cards. So I do make a lot of birthday cards. All right, so we're going to put this right about here. Now, if we think we need it darker, if we think we need the darker grape, I can flip this over. But I think that will be fine because we're using that white paper. All right, and I want to, hang on a second, I got to get this thing open or closed. There it goes. I need to add some stuff to make that thing slide a little bit easier. And let's do, I'm going to bring in the paper trimmer, and we're going to trim this up just a little bit because I think it's got a little bit too much on the top. It's a little crooked, but that's all right. I don't worry about that stuff, you guys. It's not important enough to worry about because when the person gets this card, they don't know. They're not going to look at the crookedness, right? So I'm just going to hold this down on the left side so I can make sure I cut it. And then I think I'll trim it a little bit down here as well. And I've just got it slightly over where the trimmer blade will go. And when you've got a short piece like this, I sometimes start right on the paper, hold it in place, and then bring it back. And that cuts it down. And it does look a little crooked, but I'm not going to worry about that. All right, we're going to take this sentiment and we're going to do exactly like what our picture. So I'm going to cut a banner, and this is a little bit long. All right, so the tip is cut your banner up just a little bit up the center of your end. All right, so we're going to make a little snip right here. And then just go in from corner to corner. And that will help give you a nice tail. I'm going to move this up here. It's easier if I use my snips that way. And then just go from each corner to the inside where you did that cut. And then you've got a banner. Now, if you don't have the dies, you can use a square punch. If you have a square punch, you can do the same thing. So I'm going to make a little cut here on the other end and then cut there and cut right there. So now we've got our banner, just like our picture says that we want it done. All right, so that one we're going to place on the right side of the card. And again, we're going to add dimensionals because we want to get them popped up. Now I'm using the edge here, so I'm just going to pull off a few. And I'm going to probably cut right about there. And then I'm going to cut this in half, and that will give me a couple on each side. All right, so we're going to put the dimensionals on here. Now, again, if you want to add a little bit of twine or ribbon, you can do that too. But we're going to leave it very simple. All right, and then that will go, whoopsie. And we're going to put that right over here. We're going to make that right. I'm going to kind of do it like that, just to cover just a little bit right there. All right, so there's that. And now let me make sure that looks, hang on a minute. I'll lift this up just a tad. It needs to go up a little bit higher. Give me just a second. Let me move it up just a little bit there. Okay, and then we're going to pull in. We've got some cute little embellishments that will go with this. Let me find them. I'm trying to decide. I think these will look. These are retired. These are the 24, 26 in colors. But we're going to pull in the, let's pull in these two little ones. We'll pull in and we'll put one up here. And we'll put one down on the bottom of the flag of the card. And then I've got this medium-sized one, since we should have them in threes. And I think I'll just pop it right here. That way we've got our three. Okay, and then the next thing, now we cut off a strip. Now the only strip we have is going to be right here. So what we'll do is we can put another piece of inside basic white, right? And our flowers are going, I gotta make sure which direction. And we can put that just like that if we want to, or we can flip it and put this on the inside. I think what I'm going to do is put this on the inside because it will go with that. So let's do that. It gives it a little bit bold. And we can cut this down if you don't want to have that much on there. This is, let's see how big this one is. Let's cut it down. Unless you don't want to write as much, then you can leave it the size that it is. All right, this is almost an inch. So let's cut this down to, let's make it 3/4 of an inch. We'll just cut it down. All right, so let me see. Let me go this way. It'll be easier for me to hold it. Actually, I'm going to make it, 3/4. So give me a second. I'm going to get in here. Let me get my cutting blade on it. Hold it down. There we go. That just takes a smidge off. All right. So let's add that to the inside. And that'll be a nice surprise when they open up the card. And they see this beautiful dark lavender and gorgeous grape. We're going to lay that right there. Bring it to the edge. All right. And then we're going to just attach that to the inside of our card. So that way, when you're trimming off your papers, you're not wasting. So you're going to use all those pieces of paper on your card. You have very little leftovers. So we're going to put that right in there like that. I think I like that. It's pretty. All right. Okay. And then there's our other sketch, just turned on a different direction. All right. So what do y'all think? There's the sketch. And here are the two cards that we created, just changing the direction of one of the cards. Yep. Let me pull that down so it's in the camera. All right. What do y'all think? Got to run to your daughters. Oh, have fun. Take care of those kitty cats. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for taking time out of your Saturday morning to join me for our creation anticipation. I hope you enjoyed the sketch and the cards that I created. Make sure to share. If you're on Facebook, I would greatly appreciate it. And again, if you're watching on YouTube and you're new to my channel, make sure that you click the bell to be notified when I upload new videos, and then hit the subscribe button as well. All right. Have a great weekend, everyone. I will be out of town leaving on Tuesday morning. So you'll see some pictures from me as we do our travels through the national parks. And I will have videos scheduled for you on Tuesday evening, so you have no excuse not to watch. All right. Thanks again, everyone. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you in the next week with pictures. Bye now.